Hi, and welcome to my classroom. My name is Christopher Youngren, and I'm a middle school ELA teacher in Tucson, Arizona. You know, I give my students a vocabulary assignment every week, and I started off this year allowing them to look up their own words in the independent reading books that they're currently reading. And it didn't work too well, I realized, after a little while, for a couple of reasons. They were either defining words like big as not small, or hot as not cold, or they were trying to tell me that they already knew every single word in their book. And I'm like, well, I bet you I could take your book and find 5 words that you don't. But rather than go down that route, let me just start giving you words to look up. And, you know, I would provide them with a link, a direct link on Google Classroom to Merriam-Webster.com. So all they would have to do is take the words that I provided them, click on the link, go to the website, enter the word, find the definition, copy and paste it, and put it back into the Google document that I also provided them with. Wow. You can imagine the chaos that ensued, all right? You would think that I was asking them to do some quantum physics or something instead of looking up 5 words. But invariably what will happen is they'll define the words themselves, you know? A lot of them will send me back a dozen, 12 or more, or trillion, lots and lots of millions. And I'm like, well, now you're making actually more work for yourself by defining these words on your own, which, first of all, I didn't ask you to do. In fact, I gave you the dictionary link that I wanted you to use, but instead of doing that, you thought you were supposed to define them yourselves. Why? I don't know. They don't read instructions in middle school. I'm finding this out very, very quickly. And so I say it again and again and again, and they still give me their own definitions. And it occurred to me after a while, I said, maybe I'm assuming too much. Maybe these students don't know how to use the internet. Could that possibly be the case? I mean, as much time as they spend in front of screens on a daily basis, could it be that some of them just don't know the basics of how to go to a website, or how to conduct a search, or how to take a word and put it into a dictionary site and get the definition back, and then take that definition, copy and paste it back into a document? And so I think what's important is we need to stop making assumptions that just because they spend so much time on screens makes them internet savvy or makes them search savvy. And so I think we need to rewind a little bit. And this is especially true, I believe, of 6th graders who were moving from elementary school into middle school and were suddenly asked guess what? You have to type all your documents. No, I don't want you to take a picture of something that you hand wrote and then email it to me. No, I actually do want you to type the document. You're in middle school and we need to ratchet it up a few gears. But I think that we may need to stop and take our time and slow down just a little bit and take the time to actually explain to kids how to use the internet, because some of them honestly may not know. They honestly may not know. And to assume that everybody does and to just barrel on forward going, oh, well, they'll catch up and they'll figure it out. Well, guess what? Especially right here, right now, in this distance learning environment, to assume anything, I think, is a tragic mistake to make. We cannot assume anything of these kids, especially in middle school, where all of a sudden they become like totally non-communicative. And especially what I'm noticing, because I'm teaching a 6th and a 7th grade class, and something happens between 6th grade and 7th grade, where in 6th grade they're still kind of up and energetic and cheerful and whatnot. In 7th grade, all of a sudden I'm looking at 20 students who are looking at me just like this. And I'm like, hey guys, how are we doing today? Are we good? Are we excited? Hey, it's Friday. Can you believe it's Friday? You made it to the weekend again. Anybody got any plans this weekend? Anybody doing anything exciting? Not really. Cool, great, glad to hear it. So that's wonderful. But they're not gonna tell us, is the point. They're not necessarily going to offer the information that they don't know something. So we have to be preemptive, and we have to make sure that we go over the material, especially after like 5 months of quarantine, right? Especially after being out of school for 5 months. Stuff goes out of their head. I mean, stuff goes out of their head on a regular summer, right? In a regular summer break, there is going to be a loss of retention from the end of the previous year. And so we have to take the time to make sure that we are all on the same page, even if they do not advance that information to us. Because if not, then we're just making more work for ourselves and we're making more work for them. And ultimately, everything's just going to be more confusing because we're sending work back to them saying, please do what I asked you to do. But honestly, some of them might either not know what we're asking them to do, even if we have the directions written out, or they might have just forgotten. So take the time, do them a favor, do yourselves a favor, and take the time to teach them the very basics of the internet. And I promise you, you're going to make your life a lot simpler for it. So thanks for joining me today. If you like what I have to say, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep them coming. I hope you're well. Please be safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.